Hi, I'm Martin Hubbard, principal of the core group. Today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the notion of this concept or idea called two-way balanced thinking. Ultimately, as I've said before, what we think and how we think is what matters. How we use our mind and our thoughts, how we think about things, not only consciously but subconsciously. My last segment was all about conscious versus subconscious thought. If you saw that clip, great. If you didn't, for a little bit of a review, conscious thought is simply your reasoning well, how you think about things, how you interpret your senses. Subconscious thought is instinctive desire based on your past reasoning well, how you made sense of things. Ultimately, your future subconscious will be what you're thinking today, or how you make sense of things. This is an important concept because hopefully it motivates you to pay more attention to the thoughts you have today, your conscious thoughts. So two-way balanced thinking is very simply this. A person can only think in two directions, either externally or internally. You can only think in terms of what's happening around you, relative to material things, relative to your life, relative to what you're going to do, or you can think internally. How do I feel? What am I about? What does this mean? What's the meaning of life? How do my thoughts work? What am I feeling? What am I experiencing? So forth and so on. Most people spend 80 to 90% of their time in external thought. And the reason this is so is because we're kind of conditioned to do so. We're conditioned to be thinking about what's happening around us, to prepare us, to hopefully enlighten us to protect ourselves from danger, and then thinking about how to succeed or what we need to do to survive in life. Needless to say, most of that is external in nature, and very little is internal in nature, i.e., who am I, what am I about, what does this mean? Now, there are some who think in terms of internal mostly. But what that produces is kind of an out-of-balance life, right? The dreamer, the person who's thinking about the wonderful things in life and who they are and what they're going to be and the meaning of life, but they're never really doing anything with that. Ultimately, it produces this kind of out-of-balance experience. So the notion of two-way balanced thought has to do with balancing your external thought with internal thought. Ultimately, as much time as you spend thinking of the external world should be balanced or tempered with thought internally. So the question is, how do you develop that internal thought? Well, for me, what I have found to be the most effective way to do that is through meditation. Ultimately, to me, meditation is just sitting quietly, intentionally, and controlling your body and your mind, or being aware of your body and your mind. If you're a beginner at this, I would encourage you just to make the effort to sit quietly for 2 to 5 minutes. Just prove to yourself you can do that. Breathe deeply and focus on your breathing. And from there, you can begin to observe your thoughts, begin to ask yourself questions about your thoughts as opposed to judgments about your thoughts. And then ultimately you begin to focus your thoughts on the things that are important to you. So the question you might be asking yourself is, well, Martin, why is all this important? Well, this is the part that's a little harder to explain and to help people understand. But ultimately, in nature, balance is what is the natural course for nature. Nature always strikes a balance. Forces. There's a force externally, and there's the exact same force coming back the same way. The perfect experience of nature has to do with balance. From an observational standpoint, you see people who move in the world and appear to be very calm and grounded and have their wits about them and move with confidence. Why is that? Well, people say it's because they have balance. Unfortunately, we misinterpret what that balance really means. We think externally. It's amazing how we just go externally right away. balance between kids and balance between wife and home and physical and work. That's how we talk about balance. But the balance that we're really talking about here is balance of thought. I really want to encourage you to think about what I'm saying. Give it a test drive. Just observe your own thoughts again. How much of your thinking is external versus internal? If you can develop a practice of internal thinking, I think you'll find, like I have, that it creates a world of difference in your ability to achieve or to be effective in your external world. Give it a try. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.